Hey friends, Sarah here. Welcome back to another Lego video. And we have something to talk about, and that is the state of the Lego city, our Lego room, and what is actually happening, because we just had a huge family powwow this week, and we just talked about how Lego is just about everywhere, how it's a bit overwhelming even though we love it, and what we need to do moving forward because we don't have a lot of space for Lego right now. So we have a city idea we want to share with you and get your feedback on. This is our new Lego space. This is where the majority of the Lego is going to live until we decide how we can proceed with our garage basement Lego room redesign. So if you've been following the channel for the last year, you'll have heard me talk about how we're trying to build a Lego studio in our garage, which is actually the way our house is designed, a part of the basement. Unfortunately, this summer, we had some major flooding in our driveway, which is going to require us to pull up the driveway, take out a retaining wall, and add new pipes and drainage. So unfortunately, being that it's winter right now, that is an impossible task. And although we have already secured the building permit for actually transforming the garage into what would technically be called a bedroom in our house, we can't proceed with that just in fear that the snow and the ice and the rain is all going to come inside and ruin the construction, which it already has in terms of the basement, the garage. The water just comes right in because we have, again, a huge flooding issue that's actually turned into a skating rink right now. So we're still sort of struggling with the fact that that was supposed to be a project probably already completed by now, and we wouldn't have to be shifting the Lego around our house so much. As you can see, our house is actually fairly big, but it only consists of a few types of rooms, mostly very open concept. There are only 2 bedrooms, both of which are used. So we don't have that spare bedroom to shut the door on and put the Lego in. We don't have that finished basement to, walk away from. So what we need to do is try to integrate the Lego into our living space in a way that feels comfortable and not overly overwhelming, which as much as you love your hobby, as we love our Lego, it can become overwhelming when you have so much of it all the time. So what we actually did was pack up a lot of the Lego and just leave out some of our most favorite things, which include my Harry Potter castle mock, my custom city modulars, our Diagon Alley, the Daily Bugle, the Ghostbusters headquarters, the roller coaster. I do have a few more custom buildings to put out over there that will get up very soon. And then all of our modulars. We wanted to put all of our modulars in one place. I spent the last 15 months collecting all 15 modulars. Of course, we have the new boutique hotel and the alt build already, but I put a lot of effort and a lot of money into collecting those modulars, and we wanted to make sure to have a space for them. We've been sort of shuffling them around the house, putting them here and there, but I really decided that it's time they make their way into a city again. And I absolutely love this city table that we purchased at IKEA. It's a little bit different than the standard tables that most people are using for their Lego cities. And I'm in love with it. I get a lot of questions about it. Where is it from? How big is it? Because it's a little deceptive when you look at, but you can see how many buildings it fits on. It's 8 base plates long by 4 base plates wide. I don't know the exact measurements, but in terms of Lego measuring, that's what I do. And this section right here is actually a leaf that you can pull out. And I won't add any buildings to it, but it makes a nice space to do some detail work when your city's full and you need to just work on your greenery or whatever. And we will actually be purchasing another one of these next month to put at the end of the table right here, and it will go out. It'll go out this way. We'll actually move this air hockey table around into that area so that's near the basketball. And this will sort of be the Lego area in the house until we get some more long-term plans with the garage downstairs. But what we really need to talk about in this video is the city, because we have some really exciting plans for the city for how you guys can help me create the city and integrate it with the official modulars as well. This is called the Nordviken table. It is in their dining room section. We've moved away from looking at their sort of desk and leg combos, and we've decided to go with the much sturdier, much heavier dining room style tables. I think that it looks absolutely fantastic as well. The sizes that the Lindman tables that are currently used by most YouTubers have changed into they're not great sizes, and I don't want a sea of tables. I still want to keep the city small and compact so that I'm not endlessly working on stuff and not getting anywhere. I really want to have a city that, you know, has done parts, or at least done for now parts, and that I can work along, finish them up, and then move on to a new project. So we're not even going to add the second table here until I finish up some of the projects I'm going to detail in this video. As I mentioned, I collected all 15 of the original modulars in a span of about 15 months. And I'm really looking forward to putting together a video at some point, sort of detailing the process, the pricing, the cost that I paid for these, because I did put quite an investment into getting a lot of these retired sets before they have skyrocketed even further, which we know that they have. So why don't we just take a tour of the modulars that are in the city to get started, and then I'll give you sort of a task list of what Mr. Bins and Bricks and I are going to be working on this weekend, just to get the city a little bit more organized. So right here on the end is one of my absolute favorite modulars, the Cafe Corner, which is the original modular. And it looks like we have a man down in the city street, but we'll get him taken care of. And then next to it, you can see that we have the Parisian, which is probably I'd say this is the first modular that first retired modular that I purchased and built, which was a lot of fun. That is also a beautiful modular inside with tons of detail. Next to that, we have the fire station and then the detective's office, which I'll come around to on the other side. But as we make our way around the corner, another one of my favorites is the Palace Cinema, and I think it looks absolutely fantastic in the city. I especially love that this block of modulars has a lot of towers popping up. It gives just a nice little skyline. Next to the Palace Cinema, I always like to place the diner. I don't know why. I feel like when the cinema lets out, everyone in the city needs to go to the diner. And then you'll see peeking down, we have the Town Hall and the Green Grocer. This layout might seem a little bit boring. They're just banks or blocks of modulars, but in terms of layout, I feel like this is honestly the simplest way to go at this point. If you have any suggestions for moving the buildings around, I'm definitely open to that. But they will stay in sort of these roads with smaller roads in between. And I'll get to the roads in just a minute. But let's take a look at this bank where we have the Grand Emporium, which is a gorgeous corner build. I love the shop. Oh, we have a woman down. She bought too much and she can't actually carry it. So we have Assembly Square next to that. We actually have an open space down after Assembly Square, because we know that we need another 16 by 32 building of some type to fill in that spot. And then we have the Brick Bank, which if you've never built the Brick Bank, it's a beautiful modular. It's actually right up there with probably my #1 modular. Might tie with the Cafe Corner. The Cafe Corner is my #1 modular for other reasons, because we know it's kind of dull inside, but I just love the iconic look of it. But the Brick Bank is truly gorgeous. If we go around the block, we have the Corner Garage, which is not necessarily my favorite of favorites, but every Lego City needs a garage, and this fits the aesthetic of the Lego City modulars very nicely. Around there, we have the police station, which is last year's modular 2021. And then we have, see if we can sneak through here, it's a tight spot. We have the alt build of the Boutique Hotel next to the Boutique Hotel. And I particularly like these in this configuration. I feel like it's been incredibly hard to place the Boutique Hotel in a city, but when you pair it with its alt build, I think it gets a lot easier as long as you have the space. All right, so as we come around to the back of the city, you can see the brick bank here. It's really, really awesome. I love the soap suds place on the side, which actually corresponds with the police station bulletin board of the soap suds advertisement. So that's a nice little connection there. And again, you can see that blank space. We will definitely come up with something to put in there, some type of building. You all voted on a comic book shop, so I think that will be a good addition to that space. And then if we look at the other side, we can get a better angle of the town hall and the greengrocer. So both of these are very retired, very expensive. Luckily, I was able to find some fantastic deals. I did purchase the town hall brand new in box, but I purchased the greengrocer along with the cafe corner used. Now my goal right now is actually to purchase the Market Street. So that is my sort of white whale of this year. I have 2 white whales of this year, but I'll share that one with you right now because I'm actively searching for it. And then if we go around, okay, we'll go around the block here. You can see a better view of the detective shop. This is up there in maybe my number 2 or 3 spot of modulars next to the fire station, which is gorgeous, but not super high up on my list. But our goal was to add every one of the official Lego modulars to our city as sort of a historical timeline. And you know, they're beautiful. They're beautiful. It's hard to put them in order of how much I like them, but someone has to be at the bottom, and I'm afraid it might be the fire station. So I hate to say that, but if you have a least and a most favorite, leave them in the comments for me. Everyone has a different opinion, and I love to hear all the different opinions on the different modulars. If we go around this side, we've got the pet shop next to the pet shop's townhouse. These are okay. I know these are not everyone's favorite, but they're definitely, one of the official modulars, and that is why we have it in the city. And you'll notice that there is a townhouse next to the official townhouse, and you'll notice that it looks very similar. So one day I was just having a little fun, and I pulled out the instruction booklet for the townhouse here, for the pet shop townhouse, and I thought, you know what, let me see if I can just recreate something using the pieces that I have. Now, I totally want to suggest to you, if you're new to mock making, this smaller 16 by 32 older modular is a little bit simpler inside, simpler build. So grab it and see what you can do with your pieces. You'll notice that mine came out very different in spots just because of what I had available, and I think that's really awesome. I think that is a ton of fun. It was a great way to use my pieces. I went with a gold theme, very fancy, and we just had a lot of fun building it and playing around with the parts that I had, but within the structure of the instruction booklet. So it gave me the freedom to have some creativity, but sort of like a guide or a blueprint to build a building that is an appropriate size. And one of the things you can actually see up here, we have a piece of lighting kit, the Bricks Max lighting kit. We are going to be lighting all of these buildings this year. You'll see some wires hanging out behind there. We do have some lit already, and we'll need to figure out a system for plugging them all in. But our goal for this year is to get them all lighted and to create a full-length tutorial video for you on lighting each one of the official modulars so that you can follow along if you're feeling like it's a bit of a struggle. We've actually tried out 3 of the basic light kits that you see on Amazon, including Bricksmax, Brick Loot, and I believe Light Tailing. I'll check on that. We found that we liked Bricksmax the best. I will tell you that, and we'll get into that in another video, but going forward, all the lighting kits will be Bricksmax. Now, there is another type of lighting kit that you can actually take apart the layers of the modulars without shutting off all the lights, then they can disconnect. However, we are not going to be using those lighting kits. They are generally more expensive, but we don't go into our modulars at all. Since we built them, they pretty much have not been taken apart. So we don't find the need to be able to take apart the layers and have the lights easily disconnect. Hopefully that doesn't change in the future as we light them all, but you know, over the last year, I have not gone inside any of these. So we feel pretty safe in saying that we can go with the BricsMax. And the one thing I will say that we like about the BricsMax is that if one wire breaks, you can actually purchase a replacement wire. That is not true for some of the other kits. You actually have to replace the entire thing. And with our cat, we have actually put this to the test, and we've had to get another piece for our garage. So with that being said, I think BricsMax is the best choice for us. So we have this section here. You've noticed that we've gone from our downtown buildings, our official Lego modulars. We've gone to some townhouses now and some more residential types of modulars. And we are heading into what's going to be my favorite area. Is sort of that green space, foresty, maybe we'll call the blacksmiths a type of historical museum. We have a lot of work to do in this area, and that is what we're going to focus a lot of our time on. We need to make Mills plates. We need to secure these different types of builds to the Mills plates, and most likely we'll just use some jumper plates and pop them on, and they can be easily removed. We need to do a lot of landscaping in here. We need to make some Mills water. This guy will move. He's a little big. And we do have the opportunity now to put in our old fishing store. This is one of my absolute favorite. This is in my top 5 sets of all time. The old fishing store is absolutely gorgeous. And we're gonna find a way to sort of mold that into this area really well. And then we have this blank green spot here, this open space, which I think will be, we'll make it into a Mills plate, and I think it is going to be a spot where we change around maybe what's happening for the season, maybe a pumpkin patch, maybe a Christmas tree lot sales place, a market, a summer market, anything, just to have something that's easy and accessible as a green space. We can put coffee cart, flower cart, all that kind of stuff. So I think that will be a nice alternative. As you can see, everything else is really packed in tightly. So there is not going to be a lot of space except for in behind the modulars, which I would like to do a bit of landscaping and, you know, just make it a little bit nicer back there, but there is not a ton of room. So we are going to put our green space and have it maybe be a changing feature right here in the city. That way it's sort of front and center, and then it doesn't also block the view of the old fishing store too much and the water in the back. So bear with me, this is definitely a longer video than usual today, but we have so much to cover with the Lego. First thing I want to do is show you my new road system. Oops, poor horse. Poor blacksmith. But this is what we are going with for our road. So we do still have the Mills Road here, but it is going to be a completely tiled brick-built road. Instead of using the new road plates, we wanted to go with something not as wide and just not as, I don't have a good word for it, but I don't love the new road plates. I don't love the huge line down them. So you'll notice that we aren't even going to have a white line. This is a very narrow road. I don't care if I have a ton of vehicles in my city. I'm really just interested in getting in the cars that came with the modulars, the new vintage taxi, just a few vehicles like those. And then I do have the Chariot. We can put the Chariot in there as well from the Coliseum, the promo that came with that. So all of our roads are going to be just the 16 by 32 dark blue gray tiled. And I think that will be perfect. We just need a few of them to go in between the banks of buildings. And then the goal will be, as we add in another table, we may be able to move the foresty area onto that next table so that we have an additional bank available for more modulars. We do have some plans to do some more alt builds And as you can see, the table is already filled. We are gonna try to keep it kind of low key. I'm gonna try to not get too many ideas in my head. But for now, guys, happy building, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.